Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Laura of Laura Plans It, and today I am setting up my Erin Condren Teacher Planner for our 2020-2021 homeschool year. All right, so homeschool starts for us in just over 4 weeks. And the first thing that I like to do in my homeschool planner, which is the Erin Condren Teacher Planner, is just flip through all the preamble pages and all the extra pages, not the weekly ones, and start putting in some of my information and customizing it to the way that I prefer to use it. So I want to walk you through how I do that here. I will stop and add, I've got my sticky notes out so I can kind of show you what I'm going to do. A lot of that information is personal, so I'm not going to write it in here. I don't feel the need to share my phone number, so sorry. But I do want to show you kind of how I use this so that you can get a really clear idea. I know a lot of people are new to homeschooling this year. It's kind of an odd year for everybody. So I want to show you how I'm using this. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so as you can see, there are, well, if you didn't already know, there are actually 2 designs for the Erin Condren Teacher Planner. I picked Kaleidoscope. If you want a full walkthrough of this planner, you can click the link up here that I'll share with you. I have done an entire walkthrough and talked about it, but today I am filling this out. So I'm gonna get a pen and get started here. I always put my name here. I typically put my phone number as well, but I won't be putting my phone number in right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put my name so that people know that this is my book. And I will come back later and put my phone number. So I'm gonna put a sticky, I'm gonna put it right out here so it kind of sticks out to remind me to come back. And I'm gonna write phone number on here so I know to put that in. And I will continue to do that throughout this book, just so you know. So I'll have little stickies sticking out so that I can add things in as necessary. So let's keep going. All right, all about me information. Obviously, a lot of this is going to be personal, so I'm not even gonna fill this in. I will just put a little sticky and leave it blank. But I do put in our name, and I can put some of this in right now. So I do obviously put in our name. So the James family. And this is our homeschool. I don't name our homeschool, although I know some people do. And then of course the year is 2020 through 2021. Now I have just started, and I actually just went back and bought new covers for all of our teacher planners to share the year. I used to just have our homeschool life and then the James family on here. So I don't necessarily need the year on both spots, but if the covers ever get lost or damaged, at least it's written down on the inside. And I love having this, I keep all of our old planners for homeschool so that I can kind of track things as well. So classroom resources, most of our books, or our resources are books. I do have a few resources that we use with websites, and I had them all linked on my website. So lauraplansit.com, you can see all of those homeschool resources. And so those websites, like I said, are mostly my resources. So they're mostly for me to use, not for my family to use necessarily. So the kids don't necessarily go on them. They're places that I grab information from. I also don't store my websites and passwords. Well, I will write the website URLs in here, but I don't store passwords in here. I do have a password, actually it's an insert for my A5, but I don't actually bring it out and I don't actually put it in my A5, but it does have my passwords on it and the websites and URLs. So again, the rest of this is very personal. I'm gonna leave that alone. Events and volunteers. So clearly I don't have classroom volunteers or anything like that. It's just me and my husband in here. However, these boxes are big and open and have plenty of room for other things in them. So I typically like to put things in here, like one for each child. So this side will be my daughter here. So I'll just stick it right here in the middle and I'll write her name. And this side's gonna be my son. And I love that these sticky notes are blue and purple because this is actually how we color code things in our homeschool. And what I'll put in here is anything particular about their schooling that they might need to know. So if there's something that they're really loving this year or wanting to focus on, I can put that in here as well. As far as classroom events and date information, I do actually use this for events. Unfortunately, with COVID-19 being such a rain on our parade, right? because so many things are going on right now in the world, a lot of our events are put on hold. So I'm gonna leave this open. However, what I would typically do is, you can see there's kind of a dividing line, so you can have the date and then what it is. What I will typically put in here is not like holidays or vacations, but if we have a field trip that we're planning to take. So this year we're really hoping to go to the Fine Art Museum with art history. If there are any concerts, I was really hoping to take the kids to a musical concert down at the Kennedy Center. Those are the dates that would go in here, and then I would write exactly what it is. So this obviously will get left open as well for that purpose. Okay, now this is one of my absolute favorite parts to customize. This is not going to be a communication log. This is going to be our reading log for the year. So unfortunately, I have not created stickers. Last year I created stickers. I had a blast with it. This year I'm going to do it a little different. So let me fix this up and I'll be right back. Okay, so as you can see, for our reading log, I've put in a kaleidoscope sticker. That came on the kaleidoscope sticker sheets. You can order those through Erin Condren's website. And I use this because it obviously coordinates with the color scheme of the planner. And then I just use some stickers from some of the back to school sticker books that Erin Condren has come up with over the years. I think this is the A+ sticker book, which I don't think is available any longer. And this is the new Cool to School sticker book. And I used them to just change the titles a bit. So I left date alone. This column here will be title and author, and this will be pages and review. So how many pages are in the book and how many stars did my son give it. I will update this page at a later time. I'm hoping to make custom stickers and make it work. I might even make this a reading log for my daughter, but because she is 5.5 and going into like a kindergarten first grade level, we read a lot more shorter books. He'll read less books, so his probably won't even get filled up. Hers will fill up very quickly. So that's how we use these 2 pages. So again, not a communication log, it is our reading log. These pages, I don't fill out now, but I will fill these out each week. So let me walk you through how I do that. I have, and of course they're kind of messy, sorry about that, these colorful circle sheets from Erin Condren. And I use this spread here to mark off our attendance. So I'll kind of show you a couple things in here and how I do this first. I'll mark off our first day of school. I don't mark off holidays. I just cover the days we are actually at school. So our first day of school is going to be September 8th, which is a Tuesday. It's the day after Labor Day. So I'm going to put this gold circle sticker on the 8th. Then, as we have school, I will grab, I think September's purple, right? I try to coordinate as close as I can to the monthly color. So I'll grab a purple one. And if we have school on the 9th, I will cover the 9th. And each week I will come back and cover the days that we have had school. I do this for a couple of reasons. I'm gonna take that off because we haven't done that yet. And I don't ever mark them until the day is done. So usually, like I said, I go at the end of the week or sometimes even at the end of the month. But I do this for a couple of reasons. The primary reason is I like to track to make sure that we are on a normal schedule for our year so that we're not missing a lot of days and we're not doing too many extra days either. We also do a lot of field trips on the weekend. Those count as school days in my mind. So in 2019, I don't know if it was 2019, it was somewhere in 2019, we went to a place called Luray Caverns, which is it's just this gorgeous cavern system. I think it was towards the end of our 2018-2019 year. And that was on a Saturday. So that counted as a school day. We spent almost 4 hours in total at the caverns, driving to and from, learning in their resource area. So that is a school trip in my mind. Now, our state does not require us to track attendance. However, we are active duty, and should we move at any point, I want to make sure that I have enough of a record that when we arrive at our next duty station, I'm not having to make huge changes to how I plan our school year or how I track our school year. So what I have done is I've gone to the top 5 places we are most likely to get stationed at next, and I found the strictest requirements, and I try to adhere to those mostly. So one of those locations is you have to track your hours every day. I don't do that. I do track the days, and if we move to a place where I have to track the actual hours, thankfully, I use my life planner or my cloth and paper hourly, and I do track things in there, so I will be able to break down by the half hour how much schooling we've done. So at the end of the year, from September until probably May or June of next year, depending on vacation days, if we get vacation days, but from September to May, all of these months will be covered in little dots to signify the days that we've done school. And of course, like I said, they match the colorful layout. The yearly plan, I do update this and add this. I do have to change this. So here's the thing. My planner starts in August. I really wish this started in August, and it doesn't. It starts in January. So I'm going to go through with my whiteout and with one of the Erin Condren monthly books and just change these titles right here. Let me do that and I'll be right back. Now that I have the monthly titles changed, we actually are doing weekly themes this year. So I'm going to go ahead and write our weekly themes in so you can see how this looks when it is all set and ready to go. So as you can see, I've got all of our themes for the months ahead laid out. So again, we don't do school in August. It starts in September, and we are starting the beginning of September. So our first week of school will be all about me, then friendship, fall and autumn, apples. Then we go into October, where we'll wind up covering some more fall-like items. November we'll cover all the way up through Thanksgiving, and then the first day of winter, and so on. And a lot of the themes coordinate with the month that they're in, but not all of them. My kids are elementary age, so I'm trying to keep things fun, and these are the extras that we do on top of their actual schoolwork. So we use these themes for things like read aloud books or chapter books that we might assign to our son who's a little bit older, fun crafts and activities that we can do in the afternoon, more it really doesn't play into the actual curriculum of math, language arts, history, and things like that. Now, of course, there are history type items such as Black history, women's history, Martin Luther King Jr., and so on, Native Americans, Thanksgiving, all of that. However, this is our more fun and activity type themes. All right, so next up are the graph pages. Now, last year I actually used these to track how much we were spending in our homeschool. This year I am using an expense page in my budget planner, so I am not actually having a plan for this right now. So I'm going to leave this open, and hopefully by the end of next year I'll have come up with a use for it. So I have seen people use these to track reading, track attendance, track curriculum. I use the checklists at the end for that though. So if I come up with something, I'll definitely share it on Instagram at Laura Plans It. So head on over and subscribe there if you don't already follow me. But as of right now, I'm just gonna leave this blank and kind of see where it heads. There are a few pages, but nothing that I need. And then we get into the actual months. So I'm gonna skip ahead because I am not setting these up until the month that I'm actually in school, with the exception of adding some vacation days. We haven't 100% finalized those, again, because of COVID. So we're kind of waiting to see where things go, and we'll take it from there. So I'm gonna go jump to the end of the book. And we get to the checklists. Now, I didn't do this year, so I'm gonna do it right now. I cut out the July tab because we don't even homeschool in June, let alone July, but it also blocks the checklist, which I use very frequently. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm just gonna rip it out. There's no sense in cutting it nicely because, I'll tell you what, I'm not keeping it. It's going straight in my trash can. So there we go, the July tab is now gone. Yes, it will leave this like half of a monthly spread there, but there is a possibility that I might need this weekly spread, so I'm not gonna take this out yet. I don't have double-sided tape to stick this together, so I'm not even gonna do that. It's not that big of a deal. If something happens, or we take a couple vacation days, or we decide, God forbid coronavirus continues, we might actually use some of these July weeks. I don't know, but I'm gonna leave them there just in case. I just don't need that tab. I need this one a lot more. Checklists are really, really important for us. We do actually track some of our curriculum in these checklists. So I'm gonna set up our math curriculum in here just to give you an idea of how that goes. So I'll fill it out here, and when I'm done, I will come back and explain how I filled it out and why it's set up that way. So as you can see here, I have the lessons going across the top, and I have, or each lesson, I guess the lessons are going this way. So each lesson, 21, 22, 23 from his current book, from unit test, final test, Delta book, which is the next book, lesson 1 down through unit 3 test. And then each lesson is broken down into A, B, C, D, E, F, and a lesson test. So I put these across this way. I will check off which ones of these he does. So let me grab, I usually use a pencil. I don't seem to have a pencil up here, but what I would do is I would check off the ones that he does. So check, check, check. If he has mastered it by the time he's done with A, B, C, or D, I will color and just gray out the ones he doesn't do. And the test, I will write his score. So typically the test has 20 questions. So I will write, 18 out of 20 or 20 out of 20, whatever it is that he gets on that test. I also will make notes over here since I don't use this section. My son does have ADHD, and sometimes he is very distracted, and especially with his testing, if he's not super focused, he might make simple errors. I will mark here if it's a simple error or if his test score reflects a lack of knowledge. But to this date, we've been through alpha, beta, and now gamma, and into delta. He's never gotten less than 50% 15 out of 20 on a test, and never below a 90. So 90%. So I'm not typically worried about that, but it is just nice to have that note just for long term. Now I will set up a similar page like this for my daughter. I will typically put, and I can do this right now, I don't know if this one will fit, but we'll try. So this would be Jake Math. I will try to make a sticker. Just, I use white sticker paper. I'll type in Jake Math. I'll cut it out and I'll stick it right over the top there, just so I know whose is whose. I will continue to do that. Like I said, I'll make one for my daughter here. I will do a similar checklist for our history curriculum as well. And I think that's pretty much, oh, and our spelling curriculum this year is new. So each child will get a checklist for their spelling curriculum. When we get to the end of the Unit 3 test, then what I will actually do is, if I have extra checklists back here, like these extra things, I will actually cut this piece out and just tape it here and then write ABC. Basically copy this piece over here, but for the new set of lessons. So Unit 3 test, there are 4 units in a book and it goes up through 30 lessons. So there'll be, let's see, 9 more from there, a unit test and a final test to finish that particular book. If he gets that far, great. If he doesn't, that's okay. This is the Math UC curriculum that we use, so it is at his pace and no faster, no slower. And that's my basic setup for my homeschool planner. Now, what'll happen now that I've done all of the basic prep work, and that is really the bare bones of what I put in here, is that I will get into September and I will start putting in some stickers. I usually use like a Happy Planner book, or if the Erin Condren book has some fun back to school things, I'll flip through them, I'll find some stickers that I really like, and I'll start marking things like our first day of school. I will also go through and mark actual holidays that we take off. So things like Labor Day and Martin Luther King Jr. Day and Christmas and Thanksgiving and Veterans Day, all of the holidays that are big national holidays, they get marked off. And I put them in there for 2 reasons. 1, we don't do school on those days, so at least I'll kind of have an idea they're coming up. And 2, my husband is a government employee. He's active duty Air Force. He doesn't work on those days. He's home those days. So if there's something that we want to do curriculum-wise that he will be participating in, we can also try to do them on a holiday such as like Veterans Day, which is a big one because my husband is a veteran. So we will go through and add those in. That'll be kind of my next thing. And because the Erin Condren Teacher Planner does not have any holidays marked in here, I do actually have to go into either my life planner, my Moxie Life has them written down, although it doesn't cover past December. I Google wherever I need to go to find out what days all the holidays are so I can stick them in here. And like I said, I think last year I used Happy Planner stickers from their Dates and Holidays book. I do have the Chrissy Ann design stickers as well, so it's just whatever ones I have available that I think look nice. And I'll go through and add all the holidays. I'll add our marked vacations. So for example, in November, I believe the 26th is Thanksgiving, so we will probably not do school on the 25th or the 26th. We never do school on Fridays unless there's an extended circumstances. So this will be our Thanksgiving vacation here. You know, Christmas vacation or winter break for us starts on the 21st and we'll go straight through to January 4th is our next day back. So that's 2 weeks. I'll mark all of that as well. And I will go through, I'll do all of that. Once that's done, then I get into the nitty-gritty of the weekly planning. And for me, that's really fun. I do have some Plan With Me videos in my on my YouTube here that you can go watch. But this right here will be our first day of school. Basically Tuesday, it's only our first week. We only have 3 days that week, and I will set that up, and week by week I do that. I don't do any more in advance than that. So once those days get here, make sure you're subscribed to my channel, turn on those notifications. As the weeks come up, I will show you how this is planned up. My first week of September will probably be planned pretty far in advance because it is our first week. I already know what we're doing, so I don't have to worry about it. I mean, it's August 4th maybe today, 5th. So I could easily plan my first week of September. I'm just not quite ready to do that yet. So once I do that, I will have that video up here. But this is my basic setup for my homeschool planner for the year. Again, there's a couple things I didn't put in yet, but I will soon. I hope that you like how I've set this up. If you are planning to use an Erin Condren Planner for homeschooling, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I will absolutely answer them. If you've got suggestions on how to use some sections that maybe like for example, the graph pages, or just different ideas, definitely share them in the comments below. I know there's so many new homeschool families that would probably really love to hear what you have to say, and I absolutely love all those feedback and comments. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you'd like to see more Plan With Me videos in this particular Erin Condren Teacher Planner, definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel, and like I said before, don't forget to turn on those notifications. That will alert you anytime a new video comes out. And as always, for behind the scenes, sneak peeks, and what I'm doing right this very minute, head on over to my Instagram at LauraPlansIt. Thanks so much for watching.